The internet will tell you a Kangal dog has a bite force of 743 pounds per square inch. A Cane Corso clocks in at 700, Rottweiler at 328, Pit Bull at 235, German Shepherd at 238, Chihuahua at 180. None of these numbers mean what you think they mean. Most of them are completely made up, and the ones that aren't made up are measuring the wrong thing. Let me show you why. PSI stands for pounds per square inch. It's a pressure measurement. When you see 743 PSI, what that's supposed to mean is the dog's jaw is exerting 743 pounds of force distributed across 1 square inch of surface area. Sounds scientific. Sounds precise. Sounds like something a researcher in a lab coat measured with expensive equipment. Here's what actually happened. In 2005, a National Geographic documentary called Dangerous Encounters tested the bite force of 3 dogs. 3. Not 300, not 30. 3 dogs. A Rottweiler, a German Shepherd, and a Pit Bull. They used a bite sleeve with a pressure sensor inside. Each dog bit down once, maybe twice. The Rottweiler hit 328 pounds per square inch. The German Shepherd hit 238. The Pit Bull hit 235. And those 3 numbers have been copied, pasted, cited, and regurgitated across 10,000 websites for the last 20 years, like they're the definitive measurement for the entire breed. Every Rottweiler on Earth apparently bites at exactly 328 pounds per square inch. Doesn't matter if it's a 75-pound female or a 130-pound male. Doesn't matter if it's biting a rope toy or a burglar. 328. That's the number. Except it's not measuring breed potential. It's measuring what one specific dog did on one specific day when someone shoved a padded sleeve in its face. Now let's talk about the Kangal, the 743 PSI number that everyone quotes. You know where that came from? A Turkish study. 2008. They tested Kangal dogs because Kangals are livestock guardians bred to fight wolves in the mountains of Turkey. Here's the problem. The study doesn't exist in any peer-reviewed journal. There's no published methodology. Nobody can find the actual paper. It's cited everywhere and available nowhere. The number just appeared on the internet one day and became gospel because it sounded impressive and nobody bothered to check. Could a Kangal bite at 743 pounds per square inch? Maybe, probably. But we don't actually know because the study everyone's citing might not exist. And even if it does exist, even if a Kangal bit down on a pressure sensor and hit 743 pounds per square inch, that number is useless without context. Where on the jaw did the bite happen? Because a dog biting with its molars generates completely different pressure than a dog biting with its canines. The back teeth have more leverage. A bite measured at the front of the mouth could be half the PSI of a bite measured 3 inches back. Same dog, same effort, different number. Was the dog actually trying? Most of these tests involve a bite sleeve or a tug toy, and the dog thinks it's playing. A dog playing tug of war is not biting as hard as a dog fighting for its life. You want maximum bite force? You'd have to put the dog in a situation where it genuinely believes it's about to die. And nobody's doing that test because it's unethical and also insane. What was the dog biting? A pressure sensor wrapped in canvas? A leather sleeve? The surface changes everything. The PSI reading changes based on what you're biting, not just how hard you're biting. And here's the big one. PSI measures pressure, not damage. If I take a needle and press it into your arm with 10 pounds of force, that's high PSI, because all 10 pounds are concentrated on the tiny point. But the actual damage is minimal. A pinprick. Now, if I take a board and press it into your arm with the same 10 pounds of force, the PSI is way lower because the force is spread across a larger area. But you're not bleeding. Dog bites don't work on PSI. They work on a combination of pressure, surface area, and what happens after the bite lands. A Chihuahua can generate 180 pounds per square inch. Sounds harmless. But a Chihuahua's teeth are tiny and sharp, so that 180 pounds per square inch is concentrated on a very small point. It'll puncture skin easily, but the total damage is limited because the dog weighs 6 pounds and has a jaw the size of a walnut. Now take a Rottweiler, the 328 PSI number everyone loves. That's not actually impressive compared to the Kangal's 743, right? Wrong. A Rottweiler has a massive head, thick jaw muscles, and teeth designed to grip and hold. When a Rottweiler bites, it's not just the pressure, it's the surface area of the bite, the number of teeth making contact, and the fact that the dog weighs 100 pounds and can use its entire body weight to pull, shake, and tear. That's not measured in PSI. That's measured in how much of your arm is still attached when the dog lets go. Bite force numbers treat dog bites like a single data point. Pressure applied, pressure released, record the number. But real dog bites are dynamic. The dog bites down, clamps, pulls, shakes its head side to side, and uses its body weight as leverage. A wolf kills a deer not by biting harder than the deer can withstand, but by biting and holding until the deer can't fight anymore. You can't measure that with PSI. And here's where it gets worse. People use these numbers to make decisions. Someone reads that a golden retriever has a bite force of 190 pounds per square inch, and a Rottweiler has 328, and they think the Rottweiler is twice as dangerous. That's not how it works. A golden retriever that's scared and cornered can do catastrophic damage regardless of its official PSI. A Rottweiler that's well-trained might bite a tug toy at 328 psi and never bite a human at all. The number doesn't predict behavior. It doesn't predict aggression. It doesn't predict danger. But insurance companies use these numbers. Landlords use these numbers. Breed ban legislation cites these numbers. A city will ban Rottweilers because 328 pounds per square inch is dangerously high, and allow golden retrievers because 190 pounds per square inch is safe. It's nonsense dressed up as science. Here's what actually matters in a dog bite. 1. Size of the dog. A 100-pound dog biting you is worse than a 20-pound dog biting you, regardless of PSI, because the bigger dog has more mass to throw around. 2. Jaw structure. Wide, deep jaws with strong muscle attachments generate more force than narrow jaws. This is why Mastiff-type breeds are generally stronger biters than Sighthounds, not because of magical PSI numbers, but because of basic skeletal mechanics. 3. Tooth shape and placement. Long canines puncture deep. Molars crush and hold. Different teeth, different damage. 4. Bite style. Does the dog bite and release, or does it bite and hold? Does it shake its head? A pit bull bites and holds. A Malinois bites and releases and bites again. Different styles, different injuries, same PSI. 5. Intent. A dog that's playing bites differently than a dog that's scared. A dog that's scared bites differently than a dog that's been trained to bite. And a dog that's been trained to bite bites differently than a dog that's fighting for its life. You can't measure intent with a pressure sensor. The Kangal study, if it even exists, probably measured a dog biting a test sleeve in a controlled environment. That's not the same as a Kangal defending sheep from a wolf at 3 in the morning. The dog's not thinking about PSI. It's thinking about survival. So why do the numbers persist? Because people want simple answers. They want to know which dog bites the hardest so they can avoid it, or buy it, or ban it, or brag about it. A number is easy. A number is clean. A number lets you rank things and make lists and feel like you understand something complicated. But dog bites aren't complicated because of how hard the jaw closes. They're complicated because of the 10 other variables that matter more than pressure and don't fit on a chart. I'm not saying bite force doesn't exist. A Mastiff can bite harder than a Pomeranian, obviously. But the specific numbers everyone quotes are either fabricated, misinterpreted, or taken from sample sizes so small they're statistically meaningless. And even when the numbers are real, they're measuring the least important part of what makes a dog bite dangerous. Here's the test nobody's doing. Take 100 dogs of the same breed, measure each one's bite force in a standardized way, record the variance. Then do it again a week later and see if the same dog produces the same number. I guarantee the variance within the breed would be as large as the variance between breeds. Because bite force isn't a fixed breed characteristic, it's individual and situational. But that study would ruin the list, and people love the list, so we keep recycling the same 3 numbers from 2005, pretending they represent millions of dogs, and making policy decisions based on data that wouldn't pass peer review in a high school science class. Next time someone tells you a Kangal bites at 743 pounds per square inch, ask them where the study is. Ask them how many Kangals were tested. Ask them whether the dog was biting with its molars or its canines. They won't have answers because the number isn't real science. It's marketing. The physics of a dog bite matter. The anatomy matters. The behavior matters. But the PSI number you found on a blog that cited another blog that cited a documentary from 2005, that number is a lie. Not because dogs don't bite hard, but because we're measuring the wrong thing and calling it the truth.